Hello, Charlie TCG here. Welcome back to my channel. Surging Sparks is just a few days away to its release, so I thought a better place by starting off by looking at my top 5 rogue archetypes for this brand new set. These are decks that are just a little bit under the radar, but can still keep up with the current metagame. The ones that can have the most fun at locals or potentially a deep run at retail championships. These are decks which I think are the most fun to play from Surging Spark and utilizing some of the best cards from this new set. So without further ado, let's look at my number 5 pick. And that is, of course, Togekid's Dusknoir. I love this card. As you know, Togekid is my favorite Pokemon of all time, and this card had a lot of talk about when it was revealed a couple months ago. With their amazing ability, Wonder Kiss. Whenever your opponent's active Pokemon is KO'd, flip a coin. If heads, take one more prize card. The effect of Wonder Kiss doesn't stack. What this means is if you have 3 Togekiss out in play, your first heads on Wonder Kiss, you don't flip for your other sort of Togekiss on the bench, but if your first one is a tails, you can flip the next one until you get heads, which I think is really, really powerful. What I think the best of to partner this one, instead of having like some Raging Bolt or Charizard, is Dusknoir. With the amazing Curse Blast ability, lets you put 13 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. You check on the active spot, potentially use a couple of Curse Blasters on this one. You can effectively take multiple prize cards that way in between your turns, which is incredibly powerful. And you have some great attackers. I mentioned before, you could team up with Charizard, you could team up with the likes of Raging Bolt. No, we're teaming up with some really great sort of attackers, like Blood Luna and Charizard. So it's incredibly powerful to really like power up your set, and really abuse the factor of the amount of prize cards your opponent could take. I think this is really, really fun. Active a deck, flood your board with a ton of Togekiss and Dusknoir, take multiple prize cards that way, and effectively hit hard in the late game with Blood Moon, Luna, and Radiant Charizard. You can see here, this deck is very, very fast and very aggressive. I think Unfirst Stamp is an amazing ace spec for this card, as you're going to be mainly using like single prize attackers in the early game. They're always going to be easily KO'd by your opponent, so having an Unfirst Stamp, really limiting them is really, really strong. Energy wise, we still play a reversal energy because I think Togekiss and Dusknoir is a really good attacker in the late sort of game, and Fire Energy, of course, will unlock the Blood Moon, Luna, and Radiant Charizard. You could potentially add counter gains to attack with these cards even earlier, but I haven't really found the space for this one. I do really like Trekking Shoots in this deck to draw for your deck as quickly as possible, and you obviously can discard Pokemon and bring them back from the likes of Night Stretcher. Yes, you could add that Chansey from the 151, take even more prize cards, but honestly, it's all about the space, and I'd be very worried if I actually start with this one. Again, this is a very, very fun deck. I think the counter catch is incredibly strong, like bringing out the likes of your opponents, Duskulls, or potentially even their Charmanders or Dreepies, and taking additional prize cards that way is really, really fun. And generally, I think this could see quite a lot of fun to play. I've definitely been testing this. I think it's really, really fun, and one of my favorite decks to play right now from the brand new set. Number 4 pick is actually like some Milotic. Now, Milotic I think is really interesting with ability. For an all damage done and effects from your opponent's Terra Pokemon done to this Pokemon. This stops the likes of Dragapult, Charizard, as also any of the Cornerstone ALV Ogerpons, which I think is really good. Also, 2-shots most of the metagame, and has an amazing partner with a ton of different sort of wall style. Basically, I've teamed up with like some Noivern EX, preventing damage done to this one by basic Pokemon. So effectively, you can slow down the pretty much nearly all of the metagame with these 2 cards combined. What I really love is having a partner with Palkia, making sure you can power up your Milotics much early on, or potentially power up a Radiant Greninja, which again, I think is really, really powerful in this style of archetype. I really like counter game because you can attack these Pokemon a little bit easier, especially with Noivern as well. Also, if you're behind in prizes, just 1 energy from Noivern, which is really, really strong. Does team that 1/1 line of Gastrodon, which I talked about a couple weeks ago, shutting down the opponent's benched stage 2 Pokemon, forcing like the Dusknoir, the Charizard, the Pidgeots, and all of those sort of Pokemon to actually be in the active spot to actually utilize their ability. Again, this is a very interesting style wall deck and a really unique way to play control. Could this be the best way to play right now? But we are seeing a little bit of a decline in Charizard, but if we're seeing a huge increase in Charizard and Dragapult and all of those sort of guys around here, Milotic will definitely be one of the strongest decks to play right now in the format. Number 3 is definitely a deck which a lot of people are talking about, Arc Duraludon. Arc Duraludon has the amazing ability is when you evolve it into one of your Pokemon, you may attach up to 2 basic metal energies from your discard pile to your metal Pokemon any way you like. So spreading around the damp for the energies is incredibly strong. Also has a ton of HP, 300. A lot of people thought, do we just make the sort of an Archradon stall sort of deck way? But I've actually partnered up with Dialga, and it makes so much sense. Dialga has the amazing Metal Blast with additional damage, the amount of Metal Energy attack for this one. There's also Star Cronus taking an additional prize card, which additional turn, which is so, so powerful. Sorry. That's why I think it's incredibly powerful overall. Obviously, you can team up with a ton of really good partners, have a scramble switch and pretty much like power up your Dialga as quickly as possible. Churros, who can actually utilize the ability multiple times. Cassian Clone to go through anything really scary. And Jamming Tower as well to slow down any of these raging bolts around here. So I think this is a really, really powerful, really strong deck right now to play in the format. And I think this is the best way to play Arch Duraludon. Now, my number 2 pick actually goes to Hydreigon EX. Now, I love this card. They have two incredibly strong attacks. The first one, 200 damage, and discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Really, really strong. Slowing down any of these really scary sort of stationary Pokemon, and we're in a format which is incredibly fast. Being like Regimon and Regidrago, they see pretty much half of their deck on their first turn of the game. So imagine like slowing them down completely, getting one-hit KOs, and then discarding top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Very, very scary. And the second attack obliterates single prize Pokemon. Yes, I know it's a very awkward sort of costume, but 130 damage and an additional 130 more to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon, this is incredibly scary. So I think the best partner of this one is Pidgeot and Dusknoir, very similar to likes of how Charizard is really played. What I love about Dusknoir is you can get rid of the limitations like Manaphy, so I think that's a very, very strong sort of pick. And you can also play some really good sort of guarantee any sort of card you want to have with likes of Pidgeot. Monkey Dory as well to move around some damage counters, which I again think is incredibly strong. Petron as well to actually do having that guarantee switching out, which is really good. Also, Binding Mochi, all of a sudden the first attack does now 240 damage, which is again really, really strong. Counter gain, so you can attack for 1 energy. But I think the ace spec, which I think is the best for this one, is Upper Neo Energy. You can make sure you can attack for the second attack much, much easier on. Think about Upper Neo Energy, Crispin, Dark Patch, all of a sudden you're attacking with your Hydreigon much, much earlier on. You may notice Roseanne's backup, and when I saw this, I went, nah, I want to remove this. But then I thought, we can reutilize Upper Neo Energy and not rely on like some Crispin. So I really, really like that style of card. I think this is a really, really fun, different archetype about how we've seen the format. And overall, I think Hydreigon is in a really good spot right now. Obviously, has a ton of HP, hits for relevant damage to get these big one-hit KOs, and really can utilize Dusknoir. So against Charizard, you can use Dusknoir Ping, but also its first attack, do 330 damage, one-hit KO in the Charizard, and potentially discarding 3 of their very, very key cards. Now, my number 1 rogue pick in the Surgery Sparks format actually goes to Pikachu. Now you might go, but Charlie, Pikachu has everything going for its absolute meta deck. And now you might be right. It has not really seen the results so far. I'm actually recording this video before the Heavenly Kings tournament. So again, I'm unsure how they might potentially have changed how we've looked at Pikachu X. But right now, it's not as performing as well as I really thought about it. And honestly, I think it's a really good rogue pick right now. Obviously, it has an amazing attack, 300 damage and discards 3 energies, which obviously is pretty powerful. That instantly one-hit KOs it. You chuck the likes of the Gravity Mountain, all of a sudden your stage 2 Pokemon have a HP of 300 or less, and all of a sudden you can get the big one-hit KOs, which is incredible. Has one of the best abilities right in the game. If it has full HP and was going to be KO'd, the HP is 10. So effectively, Pikachu is surviving multiple turns. You have to get some fun ping damage on to actually get this big one-hit KO on Pikachu EX. There's a huge range of amazing support Pokemon. Magneton, which I think it's the best sort of support, and obviously we talked about last week, it definitely looks like it's the best one. Yeah, Blissey, you have Lost Box. There are so many really good partners for Pikachu, but also it's the mascot Pokemon. Obviously, Pokemon's got to try and make this one the best card right now in the format. So I generally think this has a lot of potential. Now, I think the best way right now is kind of pairing up with like some Miraidon, whether it be just there to actually have to unlock areas of underdecks or potentially have the ability to attack in the late sort of game, which I think is really, really good. Having likes of Latias have free retreat, and then having a 2/2 line of Magneton as well. You can power up likes of Iron Hands, but more importantly, power up your Pikachu, which I think is really, really good. Granted, this deck here is more focused more on a Miraidon deck, which is probably a little bit more meta game than the other sort of ones here, but I still think this is a fun sort of rogue archetype. You're still sacrificing a couple spaces, like the Magnetons, like the Pikachus and the Grass and Metal Energy, to actually unlock Pikachu style attack. Again, this is a really, really fun sort of style archetype and potentially the best way to play Pikachu. But my favorite way to play this one is the likes of Blissey. This one here I think is really fun. Having the 151 Chansey as well, I really like this one, take additional price card that one on a flip, which again is really, really strong. And also we play the new sort of ace spec as well, the Precious Cargo, get filling out the board state as quickly as possible. The only downside of Pikachu is you are attacking turn 2. Now I know that's most of the format right now, but this one here is really reliant. You chuck Glass Trumpets on your Blissey, you use a Happy Switch to move it on to Pikachu, and then you can attack multiple turn after turn after turn. Again, this is a really, really fun style of deck. Very different to this one. You also have a Lost Zone, which is, again, so many different ways to play Pikachu. And I think it's really, really exciting to see that we could potentially see the best way to play Pikachu in just a few days' time. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Make sure to like this video down below and comment down below, what do you think is the best rogue archetypes? Do you think this set doesn't really unlock too much and the only rogue archetypes are the best sort of style cards from the Surging Sparks? I am really, really excited to play my Tokyo Dusknoir and my locals pretty much religiously for the next couple months because I absolutely love this one and I'm going to have so much fun playing this one. So, hope you guys enjoy this video. Comment down below, what's your favorite rogue archetype from this new set? And I'll see you guys in just a few days' time for my favorite competitive decks from the Surging Sparks format. Until next time, bye for now.